What is tattooism?
Tattooism is a socially embedded stigma that accompanies those with body art with a lower societal class based solely on physical appearance. Even in this modern day and age, people are still being judged for the permanent art they choose to place upon their body. The common stereotypes placed mutually onto men and women are rebellious bikers, punk rockers, criminals, and people that lack morals. The people who choose to mark their body varies across the social statuses, and there is no bias. Tattoos are used as self-expression and a way to show a person's feelings, beliefs, or likes on the outside.
I think that to sort of willingly go and modify your body is almost always attached to a deeply meaningful story for people. Mm-hmm. Not always, but quite often. And so I think it's a place where you're saying, I'm going to submit to another human being who's going to do something that's going to modify my actual body. Mm-hmm. And so there's an element of trust to it that can feel sacred in a sense, sometimes scary. And I think that there's, if we believe that Christianity is incarnational, it's important to pay attention to human bodies. Mm-hmm. And human bodies carry stories, and some of us choose to carry those on the outside and not just on the inside. And I think that's what you see in a lot of tattooing and piercing.
Stephen Cow, and I am the Director of Public Safety here at Assumption College.
And so we're doing a project on tattoos, and so we were just wondering if you've seen any discrimination towards those with tattoos, and if so, would you care to elaborate?
I've seen what I believe was discrimination, not here on campus, but before I got here, a friend who's a female who is gay, has some tattoos, they're visible tattoos, and I believe that the tattoos were interpreted when she was interviewing for jobs, and that's the reason why she probably didn't go to the second or third interview on a couple of the career opportunities which she was applying for.
That's very interesting. And have you noticed the public perception of tattoos changing over the years? Do you think it's gotten worse or better or stayed the same?
I think after September 11th, the tattoo situation in 2011 changed. People are much more patriotic, mm-hmm. and so military tattoos are well accepted now.
Yeah.
I think people wear them with pride, and I think the public accepts and respects people wearing a military tattoo.
Yeah. Have you noticed, or do you think getting a professional job will be a challenge if you have many visible tattoos?
Depending what you're going for a position. For a police officer position, you can't have visible tattoos on your face, mm-hmm. hands, or arms, because you represent a government entity.
Yeah.
Whether it's a private entity such as Assumption College, or the state police, or a municipality. Mm-hmm. That's who you represent when you work for them. So visible tattoos, most police departments have a policy that it can't be visible. And new hires, you can't have anything that would be visible in a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah. And do you personally have any tattoos?
Yes, I do.
And do you have any policies here that restrict visible tattoos?
The same as all police departments, or the ones that I know of. When you wear a short sleeve shirt, you can't have a sleeve of tattoos showing or anything on your face or neck. The problem is some people perceive what one person would think is body art, another might find offensive. We believe in freedom of speech. On the Assumption College, we represent the campus and the campus mission and the campus values.
Yeah.
My name is Mark Williams. I'm 38. I own Piercing Emporium and Tattoo. I'm actually a body piercer, but I've been in the industry for going on almost 20 years now.
Awesome. Have you done tattooing at all? Or?
Yes, cosmetic tattooing, not anything else in the body, but eyeliner, eyeshadow, eyebrows, things like that. Nothing that we've done per se. People are really being discriminated for, except for maybe visible tattooing. So we'll take, for example, a friend of mine that went to Worcester State had to wear a long sleeve her entire education for a nursing degree because they wouldn't allow her to have visible tattooing in the nursing program. But she's a registered nurse now for 6 years and works in the ICU and has more facial piercings than I do and more visible tattooing than I do, and they don't have a problem with it. So it's changed greatly. Within the past 20 years, huge hurdles have been passed over. But just in the past 5 years, there are more people that are starting to accept it. In the news recently, Starbucks will allow visible tattooing and piercings. And that wasn't allowed. And for a major corporation to allow that, that's a major hurdle, where a majority of the time people didn't allow things like that. I think at this point, yes, it's still a little challenging to have something visible below the elbow or below the knee if you're a woman wearing, dresses and skirts. Eventually, I think we'll slowly see that come to fade, depending on different cultures and different countries where it's completely acceptable. But yes, I think at this point right now in 2014, turning to 2015, it's still a little discriminating, and some people still will have a hard time finding a professional, quote-unquote, job if they have something that's visible. We have full range. We don't pierce anybody under the age of 18. It is 18 plus, tattoo people under the age of 18. It's 18 plus, but we've done all the way up into women in their later 70s, a gentleman that was 80. So full gamut of people that are looking to get a tattoo.
Wow.
And there is no social class that determines. From anything to everything. 18-year-old, 19-year-old women and men to 35-year-old lawyers, doctors. There is no social class that is sticking out one more than the other.
What is your job and where do you work? Like what field?
I work in the nursing profession.
And so, what is your role?
I'm the director of nurses at an assisted living facility.
Okay. And so when it comes to the hiring process, what do you look at?
I look at their qualifications, I look at their years of experience, I look at their education and their history, their work history.
Okay. So we are just wondering, like, when it comes to tattoos, do you see any, like, discrimination, or do you see, like, any sort of stigma when it comes to somebody with tattoos that come in for a job interview or come in to be hired?
Myself, I have no discrimination against anyone with tattoos, but working with the elderly population, I definitely think that the elderly do look at tattoos as being taboo, and I do think it carries a stigma with them.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that you have hired somebody with tattoos. How did that go when she walked in? Was she showing them right away? Did you not know that she had tattoos when she walked in?
I knew she had a little tattoo on her hand, but I didn't know that she had them all over her body until she came to work one day with them all uncovered.
Now, would that have changed your view, like hiring her? If you saw those when she walked in, would you have immediately been like...
No, I just asked her to kindly cover them up a little bit because, like I said, I do know that the elderly do not, they don't like that.
Okay, I'm on the phone here with Officer Bebo of the Windsor Police Department. Have you seen any discrimination towards those with tattoos?
I have not. However, in the jail system, tattoos are photographed as well as when we do mug shots for identification purposes. A lot of gangs use tattoos for identifying particular people in the gang and what their position is and if they have done any killings.
Wow, okay. Wow, thank you. Let's see, does the Windsor Police Department have a policy that restricts visible tattoos?
No, we do not.
You do not. So anything...
We actually have some officers with tattoos on their arms that are visible.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Do you feel that getting a professional job, either out of college or deciding in a change of career, would be a challenge with a tattoo?
I think in the blue-collar area, no. I think tattoos are generally accepted at this point. In the white-collar world and in a business-type environment, I'm not sure how that would go over. Some companies, I think, are acceptable of them, and other companies do not. most times I think during interviews someone's wearing a long sleeve shirt, so you don't see that. Later on, if it comes up and they've already been hired, I don't think it's really an issue at that point.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
I think it's all personal perception, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Just final question here. Have you noticed if the public perception of tattoos has changed in recent years?
Oh, absolutely. I think more people are getting them, females alike, and I think they're just generally more accepted.
Gotcha.
As a form of body art, really.
Yeah, it's kind of expressing a story. You know,
Exactly.
something they've been through. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Cool.
Where in the past, I think tattoos were associated with criminals, with those that, were less desirables, I guess you would call them.
Yeah, definitely.
in people's minds. Where today, even the businessman is getting a tattoo, and it's not abnormal.
In conclusion, the objective of the Tattoosim video project was to research and determine the negative stereotypes associated with those who possess body art. We discovered what places them in a lower societal class is solely based upon their physical appearance and socially embedded stigmas that derive from previous generations. In this modern day and age, tattoos have transcended into the realm of self-expression and body art, rather than gang markings and prison symbols. We hoped we have helped to raise awareness surrounding the societal norm enough to not only capture your attention, but to drive you to take action and agitate those around you to conquer and change the status quo.